World history is full of hidden truths. And so is this universe. There are some pictures in the history of mankind that raise questions that don't have any answers to them. If you're in the mood for some mystery, this video is just for you. Before we get into the video, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you will be notified of our new videos. Number 1. Mystery of the Babushka Lady. On November 22, 1963, dozens of people in Dallas, Texas lined the streets to watch President John F. Kennedy's motorcade pass by Dealey Plaza. In the weeks and years that followed, many of their identities became known, while others still go by identifying nicknames. Conspiracy theories have abounded since that day, including ones surrounding Babushka Lady, because the mystery woman was wearing what looked like a Russian headscarf. She was standing on the grass between Elm and Main Streets, photographing the moment John F. Kennedy was shot, and now, 50-some years later, we still have no idea who she is, and whatever footage she may have taken of the president's assassination has never been found. A number of bystanders in Dallas took photos and videos, to varying degrees of quality, of what became the president's assassination, and Babushka Lady appears in a few. In Dallas resident Marie Muckmore's film, which has become one of the primary chronicles of that day, Babushka Lady appears at 041, standing behind a man, Charles Brem, and his 5-year-old son, Joe. We can only see the back of her, but she wears a long tan coat, holds her arms up by her face, and stands with a wide stance. In another video, taken by U.S. postal carrier Mark Bell, Babushka Lady is visible at 047 after the shots were fired and the motorcade has just passed by. Her back is to the camera, but she seems to have walked closer to the street and stood across from the grassy knoll. She remains to stand, while others around her are running for cover or sitting on the ground in shock. The Zapruder film, which has become possibly the most famous citizen video because it is considered the most complete, offers a frontal view of Babushka Lady at 037, but her camera obscures her already blurry face. 7 years after the assassination, in 1970, a former dancer and singer at a burlesque club named Beverly Oliver claimed to be Babushka Lady. Oliver asserted that she photographed the assassination with her Yashica Super 8 camera, and 2 FBI agents took the camera from her. Oliver also claimed that she knew Jack Ruby, who supposedly introduced her to suspected JFK shooter Lee Harvey Oswald, saying Oswald was a member of the CIA. Ruby, of course, went on to shoot Oswald while he was in custody. Oliver's story has some serious problems, though, and has been generally debunked. She was a slender 17-year-old in 1963, which clashes with the older woman who appears in the film footage of Babushka Lady. Additionally, the Yashica Super 8 camera wasn't produced until the mid-1960s. Conspiracy theories involving Babushka Lady proliferate, with some theories holding more merit than others. Some say she was a Russian spy, an assassin holding a camera gun, a Secret Service agent, or a man dressed as an older woman. Her wide stance, for example, as seen in Muckmore's film, could be viewed as a bit unusual for a woman in the 1960s, especially one dressed in a time-appropriate dress and trench. Because it had been raining earlier that morning, some women in Dealey Plaza wore scarves on their heads, but the rain had stopped at 10 a.m., and since the shots weren't fired until 12:30 p.m., Babushka Lady wasn't wearing a scarf to shield herself from active rain. Perhaps she was holding binoculars rather than a camera, which would explain why her photographic or video footage has never been found. But because she never came forward to tell law enforcement what she saw, her identity, and what she may know, remains a mystery. Number 2. Mystery of the Copper Falling Body. Sometime in the mid-1950s, the Cooper family of Texas bought an old house and moved into it. On their first night in the house, the father took a photograph of the family to commemorate the event. Posed at the dining room table were Mr. Cooper's wife, their 2 young sons, and his mother. Everyone was happy. It was their first home. Days passed and finally, the father took the exposed roll of film to the local pharmacy to have the pictures developed. He was told he could pick them up a week later. This was common in the chemical years of photography. 1 week later, Mr. Cooper retrieved the small packet of snapshots from the pharmacy and returned home with them. When he came to the picture he had taken of his family on that first night in their new home, he saw what looked like a body, hanging from the ceiling. It hadn't been there when the father took the photo. So where had it come from? Was it an apparition of a deceased former tenant of the house? No one knew. The first evidence of the image you see above is posted online from 2009, where it was named Family Gathering. Some called it fake. The only other explanation would be double exposure. If the body in the picture is that of the photographer from an earlier accidental exposure and is upside down because the camera flipped over as it fell from his grasp, then his body is positioned exceedingly oddly. If one were to invert his form in the picture, as if he were standing up, then he would have both hands raised above his head, which is a rather strange position for taking a picture. It could be anything really. Number 3. Mystery of Goddards Squadron Photograph. This picture was taken in 1919 by Sir Victor Goddard of his squadron and appears to show a typical photograph from the early 20th century. But the translucent face appearing behind one of the squadron members in the back row makes this post-war image stand out in a whole new light. This image shows the face of Freddie Jackson, a member of the squadron. But the thing is, he died a few days before the image was taken, having walked into a moving propeller. But this isn't the spookiest thing about this picture. Goddard was best known for his interest and experience with the paranormal, even outside of snapping this pic. The most famous experience he had was a clairvoyant episode in 1935. He claimed he had a vision at RAF Drem, an airfield in Scotland, which showed it as an active airfield in operation despite it being abandoned at this time. By 1939 it was in use, confirming his prophecies. He also foresaw the death of an officer in 1946, a prophecy that not only came true but also inspired the film The Night My Number Came Up, 1955. He would spend his post-war years lecturing on the existence of UFOs. Tell us in the comment section about your views on these mysterious pictures. If you like the video, then please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.